they look at the game.
All right, well, we are in a champion select, out of champion select, into the game, guys. Blue side, Counter Logic Gaming, red side, Velocity Esports, and we are good to go here in game number 4, week 1, day 1, split 2, season 3.
So the only, little interesting thing that come out with these starting items to me is the rejuvenation bead on Chowster. That definitely says he's looking to harass pretty early. He's going to be that annoying Thresh in lane and make really good use of that deceptively ranged auto attack that he has with that chain of his.
Yeah, it is, I have the number somewhere, 475, so little bit shorter than Janna, but there's the Q coming out from NK Inc. Spots CLG's invade, root hits too. CLG's got to run back away. I don't think they even warded anything for their troubles. They got spotted. They didn't get much forward except showing where they were all running to. So CLG's going to make their way back out of the jungle. Wow, an impressive pinging. VS actually pinged out the only ward that CLG put down on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, so CLG only actually placing those 2 wards. I know one of them was that Explorer that's about to time out, but it's going to give them full vision of this invade by Velocity. So CLG aware of the movement so far. A second ward going to go down by that red buff, so they'll see if Velocity actually decide to steal this.
So Kennen constantly trying to check brushes with his Thundering Shuriken. When it doesn't connect with anything, they move on forward, put the ward down, and there is now some ward coverage of that bottom side of the jungle. Velocity says, great, that's all we really wanted was to watch Big Fat take his red buff in Solitude. We're going to go back to our own sides of the map. And I'm actually curious to see what the lane matchups end up being because Chris has been sent top lane in a default 1v1. It looks like they want Maple Street to fight up against Doublelift.
Yeah, old school lanes over here. And every time you do have Draven, you're fine with going 2 versus 2. He's such a lane bully. It looks like he's going to be actually going middle there, Maple Street, with that Draven. And they'll maybe capitalize on the support jungle pressure that we saw already today in the start of the summer split.
We've seen it a lot so far. I mean, one time it was Blitzcrank stealing every buff from the enemy side. This time a little bit less aggressive from Velocity's side, but we'll see how that ends up running. Big Fat LP has grabbed his blue buff, so for all the early game shenanigans, nothing much is open. But now NK Inc. is going to go for a red steal.
And there are 2 wards on that red. So they see that it's get pulled around here. We have the immediate collapse of Chowster, just trying to threaten that Elise in so they don't pull off the steal here. And it looks like we are going to have some tension building around the red buff.
All right, he has started up on it. Big Fella becomes around the side as well. It's now in Fog of War, so CLG has to kind of out-position himself a little bit. Chowster shows, will he go for the steal right here? The damage comes across, Smite doesn't land. NK Inc. takes it away, and the fight is now on to Big Fat LP, taking him down to half health. But Velocity Esports have stolen that one out and said, great, thanks for the red.
So when Chowster was jungle, I kind of criticized him a little bit with a little joke there. It does say the damage that Smite will do, and it's true damage. So all you really have to do is read the life of your target. But Big Fat LP, very new to the jungle, not quite used to it, got a little bit scared there, didn't time his smite with his burst, and it gets taken away. Great veteran move there by NK Inc. Comes out with the red steal.
So very, very good opening, and now of course he's going to take his own red buff down. Pretty easy for him, level 2. Going to take all that fun stuff and hits level 3. So a bit of a jungle advantage here, and it has amounted to a little bit of a gold lead so far in the game. Let's take a look now at these lane matchup. Maple Street and Evaniscus finally back to a lane safely, and they're going to 2v1 up against Lincoln mid.
Interesting choice here by Vile Rose too. I mean, yes, it's going to be 2 versus 2 in this mid lane, and they're just going to try and hold tower. But Vile Rose down in the bottom lane in the other 1 versus 2, it's just jungling. He's getting wolves right now. He's not going to that Doublelift and Chowster lane because Doublelift and Chowster are actually freezing. They're not pushing. We see so many of these 2 versus 1 lanes push early and try and get those early turrets. That this is a very interesting choice by CLG to actually freeze it and not go for those early towers, which give you that the map pressure and global gold.
So let's keep track of how these turrets end up falling down, because Maple Street and Evaniscus in that mid lane have taken about a third of the health off the mid lane turret here that Link is trying to defend. Meanwhile, on the other side, basically nothing's been lost on the right-hand side. NK Inc. shows up as well for a gank, but doesn't land much in this one.
Right, so to answer this freezing strategy that Chowster and Doublelift went with, Velocity have called down their jungler. They want to try and shove this wave into the turret so they can get it to reset, because Vile Rose has no more jungle to go after, and he will just get starved out if they continue to freeze. Trying to get into this turret here.
Trying to get a decent amount of damage there. Level 3 and 4, actually, both junglers for at this point, but in the mid lane, a little bit of aggression again. we're seeing basically this 2-on-2 lane. The junglers have shown up to defend those solo laners who are getting 1v2'd.
Yeah, and like you said, the Velocity does have the lead on tower health right now, but it looks like everyone leaving that Velocity bottom lane again, and Double Lift still freezing. He's just going farm-centric, just getting the very last hit of those minions so that his wave doesn't push out.
And that seems like default, like, this seems like the oldest school SteelG strategy. I mean, they were one of the original teams to just freeze forever, and it plays into that Double Lift sort of mentality of just get Twitch a bunch of farm, leave him with no risk, he's got a turret right behind him, and we'll just play it for 40 minutes.
Yeah, they're going way back to their roots here, CLG. They're playing a slow game, and it's going to be up to Velocity to capitalize on the mid-turret down. We always say mid-turret is one of the most important turrets to get down because it opens up so much map pressure. You have to capitalize on that because you're trading so much with Double Lift freezing out this bottom lane.
So if CLG is playing a slow game, would you say it's up to Velocity to accelerate it?
Nice, right there. And the direction that they're going to have to choose will be towards Dragon, probably. After you get that mid-turret down, they're going to want to extend their ward coverage in the red side jungle so that it will be easy for them to take that early Dragon. Because Lee Sin, to be said, he's still really good at taking down those Dragons with the Qs.
Apparently Maple Street's good at taking down pigs as well. Big Fat LP dropped below half health in this turret. An even worse fate right here. They're bringing that health bar low, and then when the CLG bottom lane finally pushes up, in the top lane, Chris definitely hazed things up. I heard him yell in the background. That first kill, and yells, "Let's go." Good opening for these guys. Yeah,
surprising everyone right there. Nien, I guess I shouldn't have had so much faith in that Vladimir. Top lane, a little bit rough for him too. So both of the people here on CLG that are switching in new lanes, just very small things that are they're having hiccups already. We'll have to see if it actually snowballs into the rest of the game here. Not too big of a lead so far, but that first blood is going to hurt.
All right, so a number of incremental advantages. The first blood up in the top lane. So fitting that it's against Vladimir as well. The first turret going down in the mid lane against the robot of Orianna. And now it's Chauster and Double Lift still chilling up in this bottom lane. It's now Chauster getting the last hits. He is actually up 3-1 against Evaniscus.
the all-important CS wars of the supports. I just talked about support mechanics. CS are definitely up there. I mean, you don't get to use them very often, but it does really make a difference if you can get the extra few gold on a support so you can actually combine your gold per 5 earlier. It makes a huge difference because supports, they really need to get that gold per 5 ticking, or gold per 10.
Yeah, people used to donate like part of double golems, like the first minion kill to the support to get them that Philo stern early. I'm sad that kind of went away, but as an AD carry, I'll just steal them all.
Okay, so something that is finally exciting here this game, we've got a needlessly large rod picked up by Chris, and he has just gone, man mode right now. We heard him scream. Chris is he's a fairly reserved player in the LCS studios. He's always fairly laid back, but he just went off when he got that kill, and now he's going to look to capitalize on it as Double Lift takes a lot bottom.
Yeah, speaking of capitalizing, burning and bleeding, he's got to run away from that one. Maple Street happily chunking him down, and there's that 2v2 lane I thought they might have been looking for early on, but it seems that after 8 minutes they finally got it, and it's working for these Velocity players.
Yeah, so that harass, although they weren't able to finish off Double Lift and get the kill, immediate ping from Velocity, very good call. They go straight for the Dragon because they know Double Lift not healthy enough to contest this, and that is going to be the Lee Sin executing the Dragon.
That was the call you made. That's where they wanted to accelerate the game. They've grabbed it up there. NK Inc. picking up the 215 gold, which is what happens when you last hit a Dragon. So Velocity eSports up about 2K. They've really not let anything slide down. Chris looking for the engage again on Neon Tanso. There's the stud. Will the Neon ult be enough to push him away? Oh, he's got no health. Will he land the Thundering Shuriken? Flashes out. Neon will survive that one, but he's run out of summoner spells.
And he's going to have to run out of that lane too. Chris just exerting his pressure there. Oh, wow, almost gets another one. Going to delay that recall. Those few seconds are actually pretty precious because a lot of damage could go down on this turret. Chris has a defensive ward, and Big Fat LP is nowhere near that top lane.
They almost looked for a gank here at the bottom. Big Fat LP is going to... Oh, the hook nearly lands on Evaniscus. He will flash it away, though. That would have been a kill onto Zyra, turning her into boar food.
Ooh, yeah, the flash after the hook's already missed. It's still scary. When the hook comes that close to your face, you don't want to be the one getting the death sentence.
If I had flash IRL and someone threw a hook at me, I would just use it. I just wouldn't even matter. I don't want to die.
No hesitation. See, an interesting thing right there, since they Chris did see Big Fat LP down bottom. He
Yeah.
canceled that recall, did another wave, and that means that that top turret is now going to be the next one under pressure. About 33% left on that one.
So really good adaptation there by Chris. I like that, right? We look. I talked to Meteos right after Cloud9 got their win. He was like, yeah, I stole my buff, so I pushed a turret down. Well, how'd you know to do that? I don't know. It's just adaptation. And again, you see this kind of stuff from Chris where he's like, I know I can push another wave. And it's nice to see these little things that the players put in there. You never know when it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's a really good point. I just want to add on to it.
Sure.
Reggie was even backing you up. He was like, yeah, North America putting a lot more focus on pushing waves and the objectives rather than North America used to be just berserkers. We wanted to get the kill, and it was all about the 1v1 matchup. A lot more of a cerebral game here that's developed. And now we see the stock from NK Inc. here in the top bush.
Nian's minions do outnumber Chris's. It will eventually push towards that turret, and I'm wondering if Nian's going to be like, there could be Elise in. I'm like, will he give up the wave? I mean, look how far back he's playing. Chris is scaring him by existing.
This is one of the problems with ganking a lane that's already winning so much, is that, you don't want to play very passive.
They're going to go in on Nian. The stun lands indeed, and look at the damage output there. Executed away. Big Fat LP was making his way up and couldn't get there in time. Chris and NK Inc. picking up the kill. 2-0. Velocity starting out strong.
Patience pays off. Really, really good there for NK Inc. He's going to be able to get that top turret as well. And that means that the next few blues are going to be really, really hard for CLG to get, because not only do they have the top tower missing, but also the mid.
Oh, the shockwave lands on a Valrose, has to flash away, still has Ignite on his body, but Valrose survives that one. Top turret does go down, so 2-0 on kills, 2-0 on turrets. Dragon, when it respawns, could be 2-0 velocity as well.
Yeah, this is really snowballing the wrong way for CLG.
Oh my gosh, Double taking so much burst. The knockout from Zyra. Can Maple Street out lifesteal Chalister? Dodges the hook. Yes, he does. 2 kills picked up. Velocity still going on strong.
And we do have Orianna coming down the river, but they back off in time. Nothing going to be there for Link to clean up. So clean double kill down there for bottom lane for Velocity, and they are really looking to run away with this one.
They are looking absolutely phenomenal. The pressure is still just kind of building and hasting up here. We've got a number of turrets, number of kills, and now it's up to CLG to turn things around. Big Fat LP holds on to the mid lane as Link went to go clear bottom, and that was pushed away. So for now, CLG are at least holding on to their turrets in the recent past.
Yeah, they've got one outer turret left, and the only reason, that Maple Street and Evanescus left that one is because after the fight they were a little low and didn't want to get cleaned up by Link, but now that kill and assist gave Maple Street his huge item, which is the Bloodthirster, which is so big for Draven. It gives him this ridiculous mid-game power spike where he can just brawl with almost anyone.
Getting that before 13 minutes is huge. We look at Doublelift, and he's building towards that Infinity Edge, but just is not there yet. In fact, Double specifically is down about 900 gold against his lane opponent, so these matchups could be important. Big Fat LP has to actually take away the blue buff, being afraid of Lee Sin there. So CLG, they're not getting the resources where they want them.
Yeah, and like I said, look at the peppering of wards inside the blue side jungle. 2 turrets go down. Immediately, your entire jungle on that side is warded up by Velocity, and they try and take control of it. They weren't able to steal it, but like you said, good to at least get it onto Big Fat LP instead of onto Link.
Instead of giving it onto NK Inc. too, at least for the CLG guys.
That would be even worse.
Yeah, that would be a little bit worse. So, at least something was salvaged here. Kind of Logic Gaming still waiting for that Twitch late game to kick in here. Unfortunately, they haven't really found the aggression they're looking for, it seems.
It looks like Big Fat LP just going to come in for a Lantern gank down bottom.
He's going to go for some damage right here. Maple Street trying to run away. Flash hook does land. Here comes the engage. Knocks him back. There's the ult as well coming in from Sejuani. Maple Street definitely going to go down for this one. Good pickup. CLG finally getting a kill. And thankfully for them, it does go to Doublelift.
Nice Thresh play. A little textbook Lantern gank right there. Works out really well. You had to use the ultimate from Sejuani, but it's a well-used cooldown because they needed to get something here for Doublelift. Their protect the Doublelift strategy won't work if he never gets that Infinity Edge.
Well, checking up on the Doublelift gold right now, he's at 1,100. He's about 240 away from finishing Eye Edge at this point, and that is indeed the build he goes for. Meniscus tries to hold on to his turret, though, in the bottom lane. That is still at half health, but CLG are making some work on it.
And we do have a pink ward already for Velocity on that Dragon. So they're going to look to get the next one. If Doublelift takes any harass here, then it would be a really big problem.
And NK Inc. almost landed the Tempest there onto Doublelift. If he landed that, it does reveal. All of Lee's abilities reveal. He nearly got the opening in on the Twitch. However, you look at how afraid CLG has to be, and Velocity have 5 strong and go for their second dragon of the game.
They have to see this one over. If Big Fat LP went for the steal here, it would just be, for style points. He's got the flash to get back out.
Yeah.
So if you're able to pull that one off, then you really do earn your credentials as a jungler.
It's really cool, too, when you get back over the wall. I mean, Lisa can do it without flash, but even a flashing boar is still pretty cool. So, Dragon again goes to Velocity eSports, and they still have not given up anything this... Oh, sorry, they've given up a kill. They had to take 3 people to do it.
Looking for a repeat Lantern gank here. No Sejuani ultimate this time, though. It's not quite back up.
Nice attempt, though. They actually put Doublelift into stealth as well, just to get him a little bit closer into that fight right there, but couldn't quite land it. So Evaniscus and Maple Street staying in this bottom lane, fighting up against Double and Chowster. And for what it's worth, Doublelift does have a 20 minion kill lead, so that match is going okay.
And this is poor timing, though, for CLG. Big Fat LP's ultimate just came up now, but there's 3 people down here for Velocity.
And they just melt him down. The burst damage is there. Great route by Evaniscus. And he landed that and got them the kill.
So they used the Sejuani Lantern gank right before her ult's off cooldown, and as soon as it comes off cooldown, he leaves the lane, and they get counter ganked here by NK Inc. Very unfortunate for them, and it could mean the last of their outer turrets going down.
And that is going to be really, really great for them. Yeah, they've got the minion wave there. They've got the champions. That is going to be them. And I've got to commend NK Inc. because every time I see him look for a lane gank, even if he has to wait a little while, it seems to always actually work out for him.
Yeah, NK Inc.'s a very patient jungler, and he's been really using the kit to its fullest advantage. He uses the executes, getting those early dragons, uses the safeguard here for the spectacular ganks as well, and this Velocity team is really just, it's performing exactly how they want it to. Chris already with his Zanya's Hourglass, so that means it frees up Vile Rose to be able to use his intervention on Maple Street, which is what he wants to do, because that's where so much of their damage is right now with that mid-game Bloodthirster.
So let's see if they can snowball that into a mid-game victory here as we crest 17 minutes in. If you just joined us, guys, we're here in Game 4 of Week 1, and Velocity eSports turning a few heads, I would say. Doublelift said that they were the worst team in the LCS, and they're really proving them wrong right here.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, you call them the worst team in the LCS, and then you get behind very early. This does not bode well for the early season new CLG comp.
And I want to see, because it's interesting as well, you look at teams like Vulcan and the old Good Game University, now Coast, who also started out slow, but came on and ended 2nd and 3rd in the season at the very end when it mattered the most. And I mean, you look at Coast here, they lost their first game. I mean, CLG might just be off to a slow start, and they have to turn it around.
Yeah, they're actually going to pressure in, continue pushing on this bottom lane too. What you have to do right here is Ward. Looks like Maple Street just going to harass Doublelift all the way under his turret. Barely misses the ult right there, but Doublelift in a very precarious situation.
I feel like that's the only Draven player I've ever seen not just all in for a kill. Ooh, forcing the flash from Double, though, that's actually pretty rough for him. But, like, he was one axe throw from getting it. Oh, Chris goes in, finds one right there, and they're going to go in on Big Fat LP as well. Gets the ball. He might get away from that one. Looks like the rest of CLG are safe, but they've got control of the turret.
Yeah, so, patient play. They still get the kill, and Maple Street didn't have to lose any life here. They're going to get this bottom turret as well, and they're going to be knocking on the doors of CLG's inhibitor turret.
18.5 minutes in, and they have gotten now to the steps of the base. 5v4 still for 10 seconds as Doublelift waits to respawn. That guy finally has his Infinity Edge, and we'll see what can happen in this fight. Though the wave clear from Link is quite strong, Velocity cannot make their way in yet.
So we're going to be looking, if you're a CLG fan right now, you're hoping for just a spectacular engage, which would be Big Fat LP setting it up with that Sejuani ultimate, the Glacial Prison, and then getting a nice charge into the group with a Link Orianna Shockwave on top of that. If they can actually bunch everyone up with the stun followed by the Shockwave, it gives them no time to move, and Doublelift can get off his spray and pray attacks.
Oh my god.
You can still come back, even though they're down 7k gold. Yeah. If they were able to pull that off exactly how I just said, then they can still just kill the entire team at once, and that would make up for it. But you have to really just line up those CCs perfectly for it to work, because there's so much damage on this Velocity team.
And think about the rest of what CLG does in that, though, right? Thresh is going to get in, get the box, right? They're all in a little ball. Now they're all in a little ball with the box around them and Hemoplague on them. And then even Twitch can, like, land his W. Like, if they get that Shockwave, literally every ability on CLG synergizes with it.
Yeah,
there is a chance they just melt them.
So we've actually seen, even very, very late game, this is where positioning even matters the most. If Velocity slack off at all and they group up like that for this, then they could still lose this game. But they're looking pretty healthy now, and they do have the all-important, Zanya's, like we said, on Kennen. It's just gonna wreck faces here. He's just so disruptive. And then they also have the Auras coming in for the team fights. So they're looking pretty good for the team fights if they do even group up on this next Dragon.
That tanky Lee Sin is there with the Aegis on top of that Sight Stone. So you look at that build, and you've got the single target damage with Madras, and you got the hoppiness with the Sight Stone, and as you mentioned, the Auras for the team fight power. We'll see if that can work out for these guys.
Did you say hoppiness?
Hoppiness.
Yes. Nice. That's
my
nice
term.
Brew discussion over here.
Yeah. Easy, easy, easy.
Some fresh hops.
If only he were Gragas, it would work so much better, but you know what, Lee Sin, you're going to do it too.
Looks like, they're grouping up a little early. I don't know if this is because they mistimed, the Dragon. They were here, 40 seconds early, but they've just been kind of waiting around like, okay, we'll just, get our blue. No lanes are really pushing, and they can just take their time with this Dragon. Now it's going to come up 5 seconds later. They're going to immediately grab that gold and then go straight at CLG because Velocity are not scared of this team fight right now.
No, not at all. And as long as they have the ward coverage, they're not afraid of getting that whole wombo combo all in. So CLG not trying to contest for it. Chris actually held the mid lane while that happened. So, sometimes you see teams can trade like a Dragon for a turret, right? They can trade objectives around. And Velocity have prevented that entirely. No global objectives have been taken by CLG.
Yeah, CLG are definitely just looking to defend until they get the opportunity for that magical team fight that they're hoping for. The hard thing is, if they miss their combo by, a split second, then Velocity will just rip them apart, and Velocity have a good answer for that. This Kennen, with that Zanya's Hourglass I keep talking about, is able to get off mini stuns with the Slicing Maelstrom. That buys them enough time to get the disengage from Evaniscus down, throwing down that Stranglethorns, and just destroying CLG's entire plan.
Okay, so now here comes the real test for is a team truly LCS ready? Because we've seen so many games start out with an 8,000 gold lead. 20 minutes in,
exactly.
They got the outer turrets, we got Dragon control, man, we're farmed. What do we do now? Might be killing the Intanso. Let's over the wall. Not even. So
the disengage, half of that won't be there now. Stranglethorn's down for another 90 seconds. And a really good move there by both Nien and Chaucer. They're able to combo their defensive moves to get him out alive. And since Velocity are still pushing, this could be a fight with one tool down for Velocity. We'll see if CLG can actually pull it off.
They're looking to group up right here. Maple Street spots Chaucer, though. Gets some early damage, but has to walk back. The hook would just be just too scary. They get that turret down to half health, but now Velocity forced to play the siege game, or will they even try?
It's going to be a little bit dangerous for them because they don't have that Stranglethorns tool. It looks like they are going to back off of this one. They don't have to rush anything. They're not the ones that are down 1-6. They're not the ones that have lost every single Dragon. So they're going to play a nice calm game, and it looks like they're following the route of an LCS-ready team. But you have to be able to finish it off. Like you said, that is the most crucial thing that has separated the top 4 from the bottom 4 in the spring split.
So let's see if they have what it takes. Of course, and the thing is, like, I want to hit that topic a little bit because a simple win or loss doesn't always determine a heck of a lot. You say, okay, yeah, you're good enough to beat CLG, you're good enough to beat Velocity, but it's the style in which you do it means so much, like how dominant you are. A lot of people were so on that Cloud9 hype train because of how dominant their qualifier matches were, right? Meteos never died. Right, win or loss is like, dude, the guy had a legitimate, amazing series the whole way through. Velocity Esports, right? Win or lose, they got to show they can win well.
And there goes Krista with the initiate.
And it's going to be the Zonia's pop early on. They've got to run back. Double still taking pressure from Vile Rose. And Ian Tonto forced to run back as well. Has to flash over the wall. He does get out. No one clicks the Lantern. Chaucer, a little sad about that one, but at least they get out.
Yeah, great disengage there by CLG. They have to have double lift and Chaucer heal before they have the next fight, though. I don't know if they've got enough to hold onto this bottom turret. The minion wave coming down pretty quick here.
No home guards were picked up. Boots mobility, at least there on Chaucer, but there's the damage up. A turret's going to go down. Number 5 for Velocity. And they're like, great, that's ours. We're going to walk right back out again.
Yeah, exactly. They do not want to fight without that Slicing Maelstrom. That is really crucial to their team composition right now. You can see CLG knows this. Even though they're down so much, they're ready to take on something, because even if they are able to go even in a team fight, it'll be a win for them because they can trade up and they can get just back in the game.
Okay, so Link and Devil still have their ultimates available. A little bit of initiation on a Maple Street. Hook does not quite land, though. And now here comes a surround. The Concave back onto CLG. Stranglethorns comes up, knocks Chester into the air. Evidence takes so much damage. There is the combo. They take one so far. Can they keep going? CLG looking for more kills. Traded 1 for 1 so far. NK Inc. will go down. Devil with 2 kills. Maple Street. Oh, he takes a bunch of burns. He's got to walk back out as well. Evaniscus with like 2 health also gets away. CLG winning that fight 2-1.
There we go. That's the combo I talked about. Link doesn't even need the Suns to set up his shockwave. He's able to get it off there, and Double Lift just pours in the damage on top of that shockwave. That slicing Maelstrom being down meant that there was not a lot of answer for Velocity, and since they were kind of spread out on both sides of the wall there defending that outer turret, they definitely paid for it. CLG on the road to come back here. It looks like the veteran team isn't done yet.
No, I mean, veteran teams are the one teams know how to come back from stupidly weird games where you're behind, but the comps don't really match quite up. So Double, he has all 3 kills so far, right? They've been funneling that, and in teamfights you don't really do that on purpose. That's all luck at that point, but Doublelift has every champion lasted on their team so far, and they actually bursted out Virals before he could even ult someone in that fight as well. So just the shock and awe of the Shockwave has really been really good for the CLG squad, and now they try to come back from a 7,000 gold deficit. Yeah,
mostly shock. I think they were in awe, actually, because Velocity got caught off guard with that engage. Even though CLG missed both their skill shots, LP missed his charge and Chester missed his hook, they were able to bait out the rest of the AoE moves from Velocity and then turn right back around on them. The counter engage. This Oracles, though, that was picked up by Evaniscus means that they're going to now exert their control over this Baron area and try and make CLG play into their hands.
Okay, so every ultimate is going to be available for this battle. Doublelift just now got Spray and Pray. The Baron is started out by Velocity, but here comes CLG.
NK's not that tanky. He's taking a lot of damage here from this Baron, and they turn it around.
They're going to go for the shockwave. They land it onto 2. Chris and Vile taking even more damage from Niantansa, but no one's there to follow up. So 2 ults down on one side, 1 on the other. That is a disengage, and looks like Velocity are going right back towards Baron.
And a big part of the Vladimir ultimate is the damage amplification, not the actual damage that it does when it bursts. So that's a pretty huge tool down for CLG now, and Velocity going to try more of the same here with the bait into the Baron pit.
Chester walks on forward. Big Fat LP and Chester sitting on top of a ward, so everyone knows where these teams are. Double has stealth, meaning he wants to fight in the next 7 seconds. The initiation is there onto Big Fat LP. The Lantern comes across. Walk right back out. Velocity eSports suddenly very afraid to start these fights.
Yeah, not only is Big Fat LP the tanky one on CLG, but he also has that Arctic Assault, the charge to get away. So catching him doesn't mean that much, and CLG can retreat back to their defenses.
So I have a question I want to broach you about ultimate cooldowns, because we talked about the CLG lineup, right? They want basically everything works together very, very, very well. But you said how important the Stranglethorns and Slicing Maelstrom disengage is for this Velocity squad. Which team fights better without their ultimates available?
Well, it kind of depends on the cooldowns of the ultimates, and how much you can use them. If nobody had any of their ultimates available, then it would actually be in Velocity's favor, because they're a lot more brawly of a team. And Draven is just such a manly brawler. He doesn't really need his ultimate at all, but Twitch's Spray and Pray down means that he has to get not only really close, but he's not going to be able to follow up on any of the AoE damage. The only reason CLG were able to capitalize on that team fight was the AoE, and that comes all from their ultimates. So without their ultimates, kind of got to give it over to Velocity.
All right, so they can maybe re-engage or something. Velocity can just force something down, but right now they go back for the Siege game at this top lane. He's at 8,000 gold up. They're putting some shurikens down, but the waves just keep getting cleared out. Link and Niantansa pushing these minions down. Another one comes across. They get the hook onto NK Inc. The flay back as well. Has to jump away, but there comes a 3-man stun. Will CLG follow through? They're going into Vile Rose. Lantern comes across in case he needs it. The teams are spread out, and CLG says, yep, we're going to back out from this one.
Yep. Very good job there by Velocity. They stayed spread out. They were able to get the Glacial Prison down from Big Fat LP without being close enough together that it was comboed with a Shockwave, and CLG did not pull the trigger this time.
All right, CLG still looking for their opening then this time around. Right now they're keeping the ward control right there. The Oracles, of course, on both sides. These supports keep continually, I would say, picking it up right there. and making sure they can keep the ward control. CLG still sweeping out around this Baron. This just seems to be the focus for these two teams.
Yeah, Velocity really working against the clock here too, because their team comp end game does fall to the CLG comp, and the gold lead that they had means less and less as time goes on. The percentage differential there doesn't mean as much. I mean, we've got the critical items here. Doublelift has comboed his Infinity Edge with that Phantom Dancer and Lifesteal. He'll be able to crit your whole team if he gets lucky. Oh, Valro's going to be in a bad spot.
Oh, they missed the hook, though. That's just flash right back out. And there comes Slicing Maelstrom from Chris. He's been exhausted, but the fight comes back on in. Big Fat LP low on health. Valros picks up one on a Chouse through the slow plant, still coming across. Double getting jumped on. Chunk incredibly low, has a stealth away. Chris still chasing down to the bottom side of the map, picks up another kill on an Iantanso. Big Fat LP trying to run away. It's 2-0 so far. Can they get the third? Chris runs into a whole bunch of enemy champions. Doublelift finds that kill. They make that a 3-for-1 in this fight. The shutdown onto Chris, but Velocity with Force strong. Maybe they're going for Baron, maybe they're going for a push.
So CLG really had to catch out Valros and burst him down because of the fact that they missed their skill shots there for it, and they didn't yet have that Sejuani ultimate. Back up means they're going to lose that fight, and maybe this Baron, it looks like Doublelift not even going to go try and contest it, so it will be Baron for Velocity.
Excellent pickup there for Velocity. eSports, the nice purple orbs matching their beautiful colors right there. It's going to be nice for them. They've now grown themselves a 10,000 gold lead. Velocity are looking great.
Yeah, story of this game is the ultimate cooldowns. You really have to pay attention to those, and it really bit CLG in the back right there. Not having that Sejuani ultimate means that Kennen just got in there with a beautiful Slicing Maelstrom. He had to use his flash, though, and that is a really long cooldown, usually 5 minutes unless you get some reduction masteries.
That's going to be the thing to watch for then, is how well can Chris start in these fights. Maple Street forced to sweep out his bottom lane, sharing it with NK Inc. I like that, a little bit of teamwork there. They're going to go ahead and get themselves some golden experience. Even Valro's participating. Look at that. They're all just sharing the wealth.
So this is that time. I mean, we already went over it before, mid-game when it happens, but Velocity, they've got a very apparent lead in this game, and they have to push it in and get some meaningful objective, because if they just let their Baron buff peter out here and just sort of waste away, then they are just kind of going to throw away this game that they really should have. They had such a huge early lead here. They just need to push it in now.
So let's look at what's going on with the map then for these Velocity guys. So CLG has finally got themselves into the map. They've gotten 2 turret kills. They've at least found ways to win fights once in a while. But Velocity, they've gotten themselves to the inhibitor turrets on 2 of these lanes. The only secondary turret left is that top lane. They've got a big minion wave to kind of fight against up there, but they have some pretty obvious openings at least to go for with this Baron buff.
Yeah, they definitely have some obvious openings, but they also have to be very careful, because if they split push, they don't have any teleports or anything. They have no Shen. The engage on CLG is going to keep them honest here. If they're able to catch someone out with that Sejuani stun and then combo, it's going to be really hard here for Velocity to survive if they're going for diving any one of these turrets. It looks like they just want to continue to pressure on this top side after taking down the last turret that's outside the base.
Well, let's see if we can find a Insect-esque Lee Sin kick into the enemy team, like super ninja awesomeness, and maybe that could be their initiation here. But they've got the miniways up to the front door. They've still got Baron buff for about a minute and a half. And here's Velocity's Siege.
Insect play would be very dangerous right now for Velocity, I have to say. I've seen a lot of wannabe insects in solo queue, and it does not turn out very well.
Now, here we go. The fight kind of coming on in here. And Chris going to go in on this one. Big Fat LP getting bursted out. No use at all. They still keep moving forward. There's the kick back on a Doublelift. Do they have the damage up? But they do. Evanis is going to fall down. NK Inc. likely as well. But they've picked up a lot so far. 2 dead on the CLG lineup. Trading actually for only 1. Well, the Evanis has fallen over. Now CLG, can they turn anything back? They've gotten only the 1 kill. They've lost the inhibitor.
So Chris is the initiator here for Velocity, and we said, he's not going to have his flash back up, but he got hooked in. Chester brought him right into the team, and then Slicing Maelstrom down. That's exactly what Chris wanted. They were able to just blow someone away. Slicing Maelstrom set it all up, and we did actually see, Lee Sin Insect Jr. play right there. Did get the double lift and did kick him back over to the Stranglethorns. Exactly what Velocity wanted, and they got that all-important crack into the CLG base. Now that top inhibitor will be forever exposed, no matter how many times it respawns.
Okay, so that's going to be a fun one for these Velocity players. Dragon is back up, and they've just been killing this countlessly right now. The Dragon has been theirs so far the entire game, and it's given them a lot of gold so far in this match.
Yeah, they haven't seeded any dragons here. It's actually any of the map objects. They got that Baron as well. So the creeps on the map are all falling to Velocity, and what they need to do now is use all that money they just got. They just got a tremendous amount from taking out all that global gold of the 2 turrets plus inhibitor, and now since they're going to have super minions, they can actually just focus on that bottom and just pressure it in while the minions passively push.
Okay, Velocity looking to group back up. They finally spent all their money from their lovely team fight win. Baron, of course, has timed out by this point, so they're going to be playing on more equal footing this time around, but a 13,000 gold lead, I suppose, is not really all that equal of footing. They're going to look pretty confident here.
Yes, so everyone was talking about, Cloud9.
Yeah.
But Velocity coming in here, taking out CLG would be a huge start for them, going 1-0. The new teams, both new teams that made it into North American LCS, looking really strong here.
Yeah, the Challenger team's absolutely starting the season's undefeated. We'll see how long that Shen can last, but let's see if they can go for this one. Second inhibitor now in their sights, looking at the damage on that turret. That's going to fall down almost immediately.
Ooh, Lichbane, kill.
Yeah, a lot of pain on that one. Now, Doublelift has stealth. This could be the fight initiated, and there comes the Glacial Prison. They're going to go in. The shockwave comes across. A lot of damage. They find Evaniscus so far. Now, do they have the follow-up here? Doublelift taking a bunch of damage, though, as Chris comes by with the Zonias. Evaporates the CLG lineup. Everyone has fallen down. Evaniscus, your death is not in vain. That's going to be the game. Velocity eSports, they're going to start the season 1-0.
Great play by Velocity right there. Yeah, CLG got 2 with the AoE, immediately bursted Evaniscus, but Chris, once again, flashes in with the Maelstrom and shows why Kennen has been such a popular pick coming over from Korea.